Try that again. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay, now. We're running good.
Just go fuck themselves. But no one's even, like, what does this have to do with anything in this situation?
I'm
This isn't
thinking
even
a
flirting.
scorpion
This is
build.
just blurting. He's just blurting
But not
out
like
all
a
the most
hammer shit, just
nonsensical
hang on,
shit
bear
in
with
his
me.
head right now to a complete stranger. And not only that, this is probably not even his first take. I bet he recorded this like 10 times until he had one that was like, this is the one. This was smooth. And that's what we got here. We got the final product. This isn't even like the first draft, I doubt. That's mind-blowing.
I'm worth more. Damn it. This is where the Kelly Clarkson song comes in. Yeah, no, your bio is just, there was so much intentional effort put in. And honestly, the more I scroll down in the pics, I'm like, this does not match up. I don't want to sound like an asshole. Like, attractive people can also be interesting and funny, but it's just incredibly rare. I speak for myself because I'd like to consider myself one of those.
That's the end of chapter 2 from the voice memos, but don't worry, there's still a finale, and it's the extended director's cut. The next one's over 5 minutes long. Also, he doubles down on this whole, like, yeah, you're, like, pretty, but you have a personality, which that just does not happen. I don't know why he thinks that that's some kind of, like, grand compliment. It's very odd. Now, before playing the 5-minute, 30-second monologue
we're gonna try carbon fiber.
he must have seen that she listened to it. He's like,
this is gonna be a
gotcha.
heavy build.
Yeah, I gotcha. Red-handed. You listen to it. Curiosity got the better of you. And then she says, dude, so you saw me on Bumble and found me on Facebook? How? Clearly very creeped out by it, understandably. And then he goes, oh, I honestly just typed in Kelsey and I guess I got lucky. I figured because you put live music we might have some friends in common or something. I blame Zuckerberg, and then laughing emoji. Which contradicts everything that he's said here, because he's constantly talking and referencing her bio, which I think is referring to her dating profile bio, especially because he does mention, like, online dating with Hayes and highs and shit. So I don't even know why he thought that would somehow save the situation. Like, she'd be fooled by it.
For the love of fuck. I was like 2 minutes into one, and it was awesome and funny, and I was so proud of it, and then someone called me again about a gig this evening, and it's like, you know that thing where your friends know you're busy or you're on a date or something, and then that's when they decide to call? Jesus Christ.
Excellent. Chef's kiss. This is how you start a romantic message. Ah, for the love of fuck. I was in the middle of something spectacular. You were gonna love it, Kels. You were gonna love it. Trust me. But then one of my fucking asshole friends called me about a gig because I'm so busy being a successful live musician. Can you believe that, Kels? Can you believe that? It's like those things, you know, where, like,
Can you believe that?
we both go on dates, right? I go on dates. Clearly, you go on dates, and sometimes when you're just busy, people call. It's Jesus Christ.
But yeah, no, your bio was just the fucking bee's knees. I mean, listen,
bee's knees.
top 3 in like the hundreds or thousands I've seen. It was just, I don't know. I'm a very good judge of character, and you just seem like my kind of person. And I'm not saying we're star-crossed lovers. I don't know you, and you don't know me.
Might have to use
That's 100% correct. You don't know each other. So why are you doing this? This is not how you get to know someone. This is concerning. Also, you should never admit to seeing hundreds or thousands of dating profile bios. That makes you sound very desperate, that you spend all of your time on these dating apps, perusing it, cruising around, and if you don't match with someone you found attractive or interesting based on their bio, you go out of your way to find them elsewhere to try and talk to them, which is very scary behavior.
Starting live translation.
Esos son molletes de
Those
tira
are
de
chicken
pollo.
tinga molletes.
What the hell?
There is no limitation. We won't challenge completely.
I fully accept how strange and unconventional this is. I got a vibe, and I figured I gotta go with it. I was like in a really good mood that day. I don't know. I'm totally winging it. But yeah, a lot of my close friends are women, and everyone unfortunately has a couple stories of having to block someone's number, or an ex just won't leave them alone, or going to the cops. Fuck, dude, I've had to block a few numbers of crazy people that didn't know they were crazy. So I really, really apologize sincerely.
The self-awareness
if this in
is
any way
insane.
like, triggered that, or it was weird or whatever. Kelsey, that's the furthest thing from my intention. I just wanted to say howdy, and I figured if I talk like an idiot, you'd probably feel like I did after I looked at your bio.
It's so close. He's teetering on the edge of self-awareness. Him saying all of this out loud should have led to this eureka moment where he was overcome with immense shame. and he just presses the eject button and deletes the voice memo and doesn't continue this conversation. Like, he's clearly pointing out just how weird all of this is. He's even going into all of his friends are women who, you know, have stories about having to block crazy people who didn't know they were crazy. Like, case in point, what you're doing here, but you keep trying to, like, make it seem like it's not weird, even though you do keep acknowledging how weird it is. So, like, you're fighting, like, a battle against yourself in your own messages. You are calling yourself out in front of the person that you're talking to as well. It's really weird.
Oh, okay. It's not fair. You've seen mine, or sorry, I've seen yours and you have not seen mine. If you want, I will screenshot my Bumble bio. I'm quite proud of it. I think it's pretty fucking good. It represents me well. And what else would I want to know if I was you? Gee, I'm like 6 feet tall, pretty damn handsome. I'd give me like a 7. No, like a 7.5 out of 10 looks wise. I mean, to my knowledge, no one has dated me for my abs or my hair. I'm guessing it's because I'm funny and honest and clearly very humble and go to therapy and emotionally intelligent.
Whoa.
It's
clearly
not a job interview,
very
bro.
humble.
You don't need to be giving your resume here. Brother, just stop.
Get some help.
Please. Goodness gracious.
7.5, maybe even an 8. I'm feeling really fucking good lately. I got a tan. I'm up to like 80-second side planks. I hate them, but they're totally worth it for the core. And big feet. So you know what that means, baby doll. Big socks.
You're scaring me. You are scaring me. Why would you do that? What? From way downtown here, he's throwing up a crazy jump shot. He immediately goes into, I've got big feet. You know what that means? Baby
doll.
girl.
No, baby doll. It's baby doll.
Oh my lord, please. Have mercy. Have mercy. Why? Why?
What else? I feel like I didn't tell you enough about the bio too. That shrug emoji was just, if nothing else, the fact that
this dude just keeps going on about the bio.
I'm like, fuck it, I gotta talk to her. So, oh, I was definitely getting strong Kirsten Bell vibes too, and she's awesome. I don't know if you listen to her husband's podcast, Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard. It's quite the reference, but I have a feeling you might know what that is. One of my favorite episodes, actually, is it Lauren Graham that plays Lorelai? She was on there. Anyway, I am all over the fucking place, as is my job.
You're also all over the place in this one-sided conversation. Now you're shouting out podcasts, talking about fucking shrug emoji again. It's hurting me listening to this. Let this be a lesson to everyone out there watching this. Just don't do anything even remotely like this. Never engage in a one-sided conversation where you have to be the one filling in blanks in a conversation that doesn't really exist.
But I'm sitting here, a middle-aged guy in his car with the AC on and a SpongeBob shirt, and I would call this like the technological version of, you know, when like Noah stops Allie in the Notebook and he's like, I had to talk to you when I see something I want. Yes, I just made a Notebook reference. I don't know. I'm being a total
just
idiot
made
right
a
now.
Notebook
So
reference.
if nothing else, I figured you'd have a laugh and a smile.
No shit, buddy.
Fucking make fun of me to your friends. I don't know. Now you have a solo podcast for a guy that makes like $6,000 a month on a microphone being an idiot.
He was right. This is something that everyone can laugh about and have a big smile on their face, making fun of this whole situation. And then out of nowhere, he drops like his salary from his job, like to flex. He just like slides that in there.
Job.
Which, I mean, it's an interesting strategy yet again. This guy's got a wild book of tricks.
I'm sorry, I don't normally bring up money, but I feel like I created my job out of thin air, and like I just submitted my 2022 taxes, and shit's been getting so much better the last few years, so I'm quite proud of it. That wasn't me trying to impress you though with money. I've got way more impressive shit than that. It just slipped out. I hope we can still be friends. Anyway,
Why leave it in there then? You saying that clearly made you uncomfortable. You could have just deleted this and just tried again. Though I don't think you should have tried again regardless. This shouldn't have happened to begin with. But you yourself just made yourself puke in your mouth when you said your $6,000 a month out loud like that as like a flex, and you still let it ride. You still let this Beyblade rip. Why?
You look like a goddamn Disney princess. The bio completely floored me. I felt like it was written by a friend or something. I just got like strong, like fellow neurodivergent, super cool, gregarious, happy person vibes. And yeah, so listen, I'm an open book. You probably figured that out like 6 overshares ago. If you have any questions for me, please hit me. Don't be shy. If you want, I'll share my bio. I feel like it's unfair that, I've seen yours and you haven't seen mine. I'm quite proud of my bio.
No shit.
This entire situation has been nothing but overshares from you. She's not going to ask you any questions. No sane person would. It's not going to happen. This whole thing was a complete catastrophe. And once again, hung up on this fucking bio thing. They're just bios. Most people write them in 10 seconds. I don't know how long he spent, like, finally crafting his, but that is not the norm. I'm sure she didn't spend days coming up with her bio on here. I don't know how it resonated so strongly with this guy, but I bet after this whole song and dance, the woman here immediately just deleted her whole account, or at the very least removed the bio entirely.
Yeah, for the 80th time, I apologize if this was weird, or, like, gave you any bad vibes. That's not my intention. Yeah, I gotta drive home now, because I gotta go sing at a bar in Mississauga, and I have 4 more gigs this weekend, and it hurts to talk. So, I'm sitting here in my car like a jackass, and, yeah, I hope that
like
all made some kind of sense. And if nothing else, please take the sincere compliment. I've seen hundreds of shitty bios, probably thousands, and yours was easily top 3. The only reason I'm not giving you number 1 is because then it would seem like I'm lying. But I'm a very genuine, honest person, and, yeah. Actually, on my way home, I'm going to go to the park and feed the ducks. My favorite swan couple, Mr. Plump and Mrs. Plumfett, they just had babies a couple weeks ago. So, like, I'll run up and they recognize me and the babies are squeaking. The hierarchy of, like, waterfowl cute babies, it goes swan babies, then ducklings, and then goslings. But, yes, I may or may not do that 4 to 7 times a week. I'm a huge animal lover. Dogs are better than cats. Cats suck. Sorry if you have cats, but I'm sure your cat is cool.
That was one of the most peculiar lies I've ever heard. You're going to stop at the park on the way home so you can visit your favorite swan couple, Mr. Plumph and Mrs. Plumfett, because they just had babies a couple weeks ago, and they recognize you and get excited and start squeaking when you come by. Like you're part of the family, part of the crew, part of the ship. What universe? What the fuck? That's not even something Dr. Seuss would write as like a little goofy side plot in a story. That is the biggest lie I've ever heard, for no reason, for no reason. The quirkiness is overloading. Like the cup runneth over on quirk. Wow.
Imagine you are him or her. Like them, you have a lot to manage.
God damn,
Houston
I
Methodist
made way
has a
too
lot
many
to offer.
batteries.
Convenient primary care for annual upkeep. Personalized orthopedics to keep you going. And a cancer center with the latest technology and treatments. All in one manageable system so you can thrive. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it for you. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
And, yeah, take the compliment. Anyway, apologies if this totally intruded on your day, opposite of my intention. And, yeah, your bio was fucking awesome. I mean, there's a couple other assets I noticed too, but I cannot mention them without sounding like a fuckboy, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm sure you worked very hard to be in the shape you're in, but goddamn, lady. God
Whoa,
damn,
whoa,
I would not
where
kick you out of bed for eating crackers. So I figured if you are half as funny as you seem to be and half as cool as I got from that bio, I would say howdy. Yeah, all right. Hope this made you laugh and smile, and you have a fantastical day, Kelsey. Cheers.
And that's the grand finale of this whole situation, and what a journey it was. I find this to be probably the best example of the worst approach to romance imaginable. And like I said, this was not an isolated incident. He's done this before. And he's even used the same lines before. Which is it's so wild. It's so wild. I had to talk about it. I had to. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Last night I had a little trouble falling asleep. I think what I needed was a good bedtime story. So I turned to Reddit, just cruising around, perusing, see if I could find anything that'd give me the yawns and help me go night night.
Now,
but I found something extraordinary. Something so stimulating I stopped any attempt at going to sleep, and I just sat there bewildered by what I had just read. For at least 40 minutes, I just sat in silence, truly stunned like a child who had just watched his first episode of Chris Angel's Mind Freak. My brain was blown out my ass. I couldn't
now that's all the coding
imagine
done.
a world where this was real, but all of the evidence pointed to it being a genuinely true story. I did eventually hit the hay, and now a full like 9 hours later, I'm still thinking about this. So
build around
I
it.
figured, why not share it with all of you? Perhaps this will have a profound effect on your life,
weight
or
is already
maybe it'll do
50 damn.
something to help motivate you
And it's
to
carbon
not be
fiber.
like the guy in this story. It's a series of text messages between a man and a woman. And that's all I'll tell you for now. I don't want to get in any spoilers. I want you to come into this as unsuspecting as possible. Let's dive in. Previously on Dragon Ball Z, the two people in this text conversation were close friends for about 9 years. The Reddit poster is the woman in this story, and her male friend here had recently professed his love for her in a pretty creepy way. The feeling wasn't mutual, so it led to a bit of a disconnect between the two of them, and in an act of desperation, the male friend calls in the cringe artillery and starts bombarding her with memes, to which she finally responds, "Hey, I appreciate the memes." Real quick, I'd like to come in here with a PSA. I recognize that in the current climate of things, there's a lot of people that have lived their entire lives online without any actual social interaction, so I want this to be a teachable moment. Don't send memes as some kind of last-ditch Hail Mary. Like, if you let something rip and it's not reciprocated, spamming memes isn't going to salvage the situation. It's only going to make it worse and even weirder. Her saying, "I appreciate the memes," is just a lie. No one's ever going to say that. Those words have probably not left the human being's mouth ever. "Ah, good morrow, sailor. I really appreciate the exquisite memes you've shared with me today. I was a little perturbed with our last conversation, but now that you've sent 1,000 memes, I see you've got a good heart. Thank you for this." And I'm speaking from experience here. I'm very knowledgeable in this field. I'm the authority on this matter. I've told this story before, but I'll just briefly repeat it. The very first girl I was ever flirting with and exchanging text messages with was back in high school, and she did not feel the same way about me as I did her. And in my weakest moments, I turned to the dark side and consulted the Sith Lords, and was advised to try and maybe like send goofy memes and ASCII art, because that was big back in the day. So I did. And guess what? It didn't fucking solve anything. It just made it even worse. I know how uncomfortable that must have been for her. So yeah, that is not the right play, to just start spamming memes and shit. But anyway, she continues the message by saying that she's only ever thought of him as a close friend and never really viewed him in a romantic way. So when he professed her love, it made things a little weird. They grew distant, they grew a bit hostile, but she thinks they can be friends again just as long as it's very clear that there is no romantic feelings in this relationship. She's just laying down the brass tacks and making things very clear, to which he responds, "I certainly had my head on backwards, but as my friend, I really think you're fucking adorable, and every trip I've ever taken with you is so fucking precious. I've heard of a Japanese word called shibumi, and it's basically authority without dominance. Call me a simp, but I really think you have that." Code red, he's not taking no for an answer. Jinkies, we're going too deep. He just busted out shibumi. Jesus Christ, we're in the in-game now. Lord help us. He continues to spaghetti dump here for the novel that he's writing her. There's steam coming off of the touchscreen pad as he's writing. The most important takeaway here is a very specific line, a buzzword that gets dropped that I think is very important that we highlight. He says, "Sometimes it feels like my chivalrous interest with you is underappreciated or just unappreciated sometimes." The reason I point that out is because I'm pretty confident that the word chivalry is used exclusively by creeps. I don't think there's been a documented case of a normal person saying chivalry, especially not in this context. It's just like an immediate red flag word to drop, especially when saying that my chivalrous interest is underappreciated, it's not valued enough. It's just some certified weirdo Redditor energy. Like, tip in the hat, m'lady. It's no problem, you're welcome for holding the door open for you. Chivalry isn't dead, am I right? I'm the perfect example. No, of course, I'm just kidding. I jest. Chivalry can't die, because to die, it would imply that it was ever alive in the first place. Only a living thing can experience death, and chivalry is not a living thing. It's an idea, more of a social code, per se. He continues on, and then eventually tells her that she should like one of them so he doesn't feel crazy, to which he says, "You're not crazy, I just need some time to think." which I think is a perfectly reasonable response to all of this. But he gives her no time to think and immediately just comes back to, please, please, let me find favor in your eyes. I'm assuming he heard that in some kind of like indie song at some point, so he tried to throw that in here to see if it'd work. So he's going full-blown Robert Frost now. Even then drops a picture saying, daydream with me, and it's like the sun rising. So it's getting very emotional in here. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit because it's him once again just begging for any kind of reciprocation, to which she just keeps saying she just needs some time to process all of this. But he's extremely impatient. His foot is fully on the gas and there's no turning back now. He is full throttle invested in all of this. He's using every possible cliche line imaginable, but he's not finding any favor in her eyes. It just keeps going. You're valid. Never really heard the extent of why I'm your friend, so now he's like interrogating her. Why am I your buddy? Why am I your pal, huh? Tell me. I could tell you all day why you're my friend. Your voice is fucking music. I think you're brilliant. Just a brilliant person to be around. Really wish I could hug you. Fuck. This hurts. Then again, she reiterates, I need time to think. I will reach out when I'm ready. And now we've finally gotten past the introduction here and we're entering the climax. Welcome to the wacky zone. He once again gives her no time to like reach out or process any of this. He reaches out pretty soon after everything, only a couple of days, and says, so like, is there any chance as your friend I could send you something explicit?
Whoa.
She says, what do you mean?
If you want to hit a high note, bring the sabor. Modelo Chelada. Authentic Mexican beer, bold fruit flavors, and a hint of spice. Modelo Chelada. Bring.
And then he goes, NSFW, which I'm sure all of you know what that means, but I'll break it down anyway. Not safe for work. Of course, she wasn't expecting this curveball, so she says, are you trying to make a joke right now? And then he goes, no, kind of a gamble. I will say this is a historic moment. You are witnessing the worst gamble in history. Congratulations, we all got to be a part of this. This is, by far, the absolute worst possible fucking gamble you could ever make. This is like betting 100% of your life savings on me getting taller. Like, what the fuck are you, like, I don't understand how you think an out-of-nowhere nudie is going to somehow win her over and, like, somehow solve all of these problems. I just can't even understand that mindset, really. It just doesn't compute. Like, okay, I tried all of the lovey-dovey, really mushy-gushy stuff with the favor in your eyes, your voice is like magic, or music. It didn't work. So let's try something a little more primal. Wiener. What about penis? Eureka! This might be the answer. Let's try it. She's once again just trying to make sure she fully understands the lunacy going on here, so she says, are you asking me if you can send me something sexually explicit? Respectfully. What a gentleman. A fedora tip to you, my gentle sir. That is sophisticated. Very respectful. Milady, doth thou wish to gaze upon my meat? And then he sends her a dick pic with his pinky out while holding it. An incredibly interesting play here, as if somehow his cock was going to hypnotize her and make her fall in love with him. So she eventually responds by pointing out how weird this whole interaction has become. She still only ever viewed them as friends and will only ever view him as a friend, and that she's very disappointed that he can't even respect that she wants some time to herself to process this entire weird interaction. She also drops a bombshell at the end by mentioning that she's currently in a relationship, so that was a big plot twist. This goober is doing all of this to a girl who is not interested and also in a relationship. The odds couldn't be more against him. Now, she used a word at the end that's about to change the entire course of this interaction. She said, it sucked when you went all incel on me towards the end. That word, I had a big voice crack there, that's how powerful that word is. That one word ruffled this guy's feathers so much. You're about to see a full-blown ballistic breakdown from it. I respect that. Also, if I'm an incel, you're toxic, so let's not name call. She's toxic because she doesn't want to fuck him. Why is that even in your argument, that I can't get someone? I can. You choose not to. That's fair, but you didn't get to call me an incel because you decline. You go out of your way to say it. Why is that? Label me as anything else, like, for real. It's foolish for you to argue something like that. She gets taken off guard here, saying like, hey, whoa, pump the brakes, Buster. I didn't mean to offend you. She says, I never said you couldn't get someone, what do you mean? She never said that. Like, he is now just projecting some insecurities and reading between the lines on shit that doesn't exist. She just said his behavior was that of like an incel or something. And he keeps going. You should know I'm anything but a little dick incel, so out of here with that shit. Again, she never even pointed out your penis or anything. She didn't call it small. Like, where is this coming from? He's fighting ghosts. I'm not even gonna pretend that's valid. You're with a fucking beta cuck to begin with. Maybe that's your type and maybe that's why we aren't together. Have fun with that. The mask has come off. He is unchained, unhinged, and unhappy. Your boyfriend's a beta cuck loser. That's the only reason you and I aren't together, because that's what you're into, beta cucks. You couldn't handle an alpha male testosterone titan like me, a real man who cries while he texts. She then goes on to say, like, look, if you find me to be toxic and all of this awful stuff, like, okay, then, you know, you shouldn't be upset that we're not close anymore. And to this big message, he just responds by saying, I'll see you in hell. And then she says r/nice guys, which this very much is an r/nice guys moment. You know, keep in mind, this is still like only a couple days after the whole poetic, allow me to find favor in your eyes, miss. Your voice is music, sweet music. And now it's, what an excellent take on a 7-year waste of my fucking time. To which she responds, so you're just waiting around until I'd eventually date you? That's on you, man. She's absolutely right. That is entirely on you. This dude played the long game, almost an entire decade of pretending to be her friend in the hopes that eventually you'll get to fuck her, I guess was the plan. That is a long commitment to a deep cover operation to stay in disguise, faking friendship, hoping that eventually you'll be able to have sex with her. And then he says, how was I supposed to know you're only interested in half men? I've never even seen that term used before. This guy's pulling all kinds of Insano-style phrases out of his ass now. I spent 7 years just waiting for you to notice the difference, but I guess I bet on the wrong fucking horse. This goober spent 7 years pretending to be her friend, hoping that somehow she'd fall in love with him? This is craziness. This is a longer time spent undercover than Rob Lucci and the gang during the Water 7 arc of One Piece. Like, this is outrageous how long he committed to this ridiculous, diabolical plan. And now he's just full anime villain mode. I'm over you. That's why I asked if you needed a visual definition of the word endowed, because I bet you're never going to get that with the life you choose to live without me. Motherfucker, I grew this dick for you, you ungrateful clod. We have to pause here for a moment. Wow. I grew this dick for you, you ungrateful clod. That is one of the most powerful sentences I've ever had the pleasure of reading. What does that even mean? That's not even possible. How could you have grown your penis for her? Was there no dick there to begin with, and then you just started, like planting the seeds and then taking care of it like summertime gardening? Like, what does that mean, you grew it for her? Is it a laboratory experiment like the Cybermen? Like, I don't understand. It's just such a bafflingly amazing sentence. She's also stunned, saying, I refuse to believe that these messages aren't satire. And then that sets him off even further. This entire relationship is satire. A joke. Your interest in men is a joke. The wambulance is coming in hot. He's Squidward, you're Squidward, I'm Squidward, we're all Squidward. This whole relationship satire, it's all a joke, you're a joke. Fuck you. My interest in you is a joke. This is the first time I wanted to show someone my dick because I hate them. Fucking brilliant. r/nice guys, these nuts. She waits a while and then says, I think enough time has passed and I just genuinely want to know if you've had any remorse for the shit you said to me or if you truly believe it was all valid. And then he responds 7 hours later saying, let's find out if you're still seeing the Hat Man first. I don't know what that means, but then he comes back 2 hours later and said, I'm over you. You're wasting your time. So he's trying to flip this around on her like, you missed your opportunity with the golden goose. You missed your opportunity with the alpha. I've moved on, you harpy. I don't need you anymore, harlot. Listen, I've matured a lot. You clearly haven't. So you're wasting your time trying to talk to me now. You had your chance, you blew it. I'm sure you're kicking yourself now for this, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. But then just to finish it off with the cherry on top, he quotes from before where he was offering to show her his wiener and says, "I still mean this if you need clarification." And then comes back and says, "Except don't even bother asking for nudes. I have a girlfriend." Okay. I mean, this is quite the ride. What an adventure. She eventually just says, what's wrong with you? We were friends for almost a decade. And then you go into this shit. Which is a reasonable response. Like, how did this happen? We have been friends for like 10 years. We've known each other for so long. Where did this come from? It is crazy. This whole situation was wild. And also, I'm calling fiddlesticks on that last statement from him. I don't believe he has a girlfriend. If we go back to like chapter 7 of this meltdown, he said that she was the first girl he wanted to show his penis to. So, I'm under the impression he's a virgin. And I don't think enough time has passed between those messages and these that he would not only lose his virginity, but then also have a girlfriend, especially given all of the behavior we're seeing exhibited here. So, I think he lied about that. That was probably just once again some kind of Hail Mary to make her jealous. Like, hey, listen, Toots. Got a girlfriend. Stay off of me. Can't send you nudes anymore. You blew it. Nope, can't do it. Sorry. That's on you. Yeah, you'll regret this for the rest of your life, clearly. Sorry. Have a girlfriend. Even though it's most likely a lie. But yeah, that's all there is to the story here. Overall, I think we can all agree that nice guys really do finish last. It is insulting that these two didn't end up getting married. This guy is a real catch, and it's just a shame to see that it didn't pan out. But yeah, overall, dropping the sarcasm, I actually feel really bad for the woman in this situation here. This is someone who was a close friend to her for a fucking decade, only to then find out that close friend was actually just a complete piece of shit, loser, degenerate, who was only being her friend, trying to have sex with her down the line. I can't even imagine that kind of betrayal. That must have been fucking awful. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share this because I've been thinking about it like all day. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. I know my calm, composed, stoic demeanor may not give you any clues or hints at my internal struggle, but trust me, right now, I'm spiraling. I'm falling down a dark path I swore I'd never walk again. Like a former addict who finds the pipe once again, I have found my long since abandoned drug. I have become hooked on reading horrible text messages from dudes trying to get laid again. It's been many moons, and some of you who have been around the channel for a while may remember I've made a lot of content covering horrible pickup artists, as well as horrible text messages with self-proclaimed nice guys who are one gentle no away from letting the demon out and just flipping the switch to a full-blown conniption. Like, the word boyfriend would be, a Winter Soldier event that would have them just go ballistic. And I've made quite a bit of content, both laughing at the absurdity of it, as well as using it as an educational tool, like, hey, don't be like these goobers. But over time, I started kind of petering out from doing that, because I just made so much of it, and I stopped indulging in that kind of content until recently. I could only fight the urge for so long. The werewolf is coming out. It's a full moon, and that moon is nothing but fucking cringe. I saw some text messages today that I've just gotta go over. Now, before we embark on this journey together, it's important that I let you know that these are two college students. As we go through this, you'll probably assume that it's two 13-year-olds, but that's not the case. These are two college students that worked on a group project together, and now we're coming in after the completion of the project. So, they say, I just emailed Professor the final draft, so we should be good. To which the poster says, yay, and then sends a meme, go team. I really enjoyed working with you. You seem like a very sweet and smart girl, and I'd love to take you out sometime. To which they say, that's very kind of you, but I have a boyfriend. Oh boy. She said the phrase, I have a boyfriend. There is no phrase more powerful in the English language than that. The strongest sentence ever constructed. That's like the nuclear bomb here. I have a boyfriend is a phrase, nay, an incantation more powerful than Avada Kedavra from Harry Potter. and it's just been deployed. So you can already start to speculate where things are gonna go south. He responds by saying, "Heh, well thanks for leading me on," which catches her off guard. She says, "I'm sorry, but I don't think I've done anything to imply I was interested in dating you," to which he responds, "It's just funny how you never brought up that you were taken until now." Which is an interesting thing to respond with, because that makes it seem like he expects every girl that's taken to immediately state that upon starting a conversation with a man. Like they need to wear some kind of sign or some kind of label on their forehead that says, "Currently in relationship, not available, thank you. Try again at later date." Although she does say that she mentioned her boyfriend. "Actually, I did. When I was at your house, I told you my boyfriend was picking me up." Which he's able to counter beautifully by saying, "I thought you meant a boy that you were friends with. Because why would you go over to a guy's house if you're dating someone?" And she says, "Because you offered to host and we needed somewhere to work on our project together. My boyfriend knew and didn't care because all we were doing was working. I'm sorry if I did anything to give you the wrong idea." And then he says, "You let me buy you a pizza." Now, admittedly, I understand where the guy's coming from here. We all know about the law of equivalent exchange thanks to Full Metal Alchemist, and we have something like that in the real world. If you buy a girl a pizza, she is obligated to have sex with you. It's the pussy for pizza transaction. It's as old as time itself. So the fact that he was able to buy her a pizza and he didn't get his winky stinky is shocking. But yeah, anyway, he seems to really put a lot of stock in the importance of that pizza, like that was going to carry them all the way to marriage, like this is a moment she'd remember for the rest of her life or something, that pizza that he bought her. But I'd like to backtrack a bit just briefly. Let's go to the previous chapter where he said, "I thought you meant a boy you were friends with, because why would your boyfriend be okay with you going to a guy's house to work on a project?" And I feel like that's a dogshit perspective that's not unique to just this guy in this situation. I've seen a lot right now where people work under the assumption that if your significant other is doing anything in any capacity with someone of the opposite sex, it means that they're unfaithful to you and they're cheating. But I just don't really subscribe to the belief that most normal, sane people think that way. Of course, there are extenuating circumstances to that, but in this scenario, and in most scenarios like this, where it's just she's working on a group project with a classmate, I don't know why you'd immediately jump to, "She must be a whore who's going behind my back to fuck this one goofball in her class," and pretending that they're working on a group project. I just don't think that's something most ordinary people jump to immediately, and in this case, the guy views it as weird that she ever even agreed to go to his house to work on this group project if she was in a relationship, but I just don't understand why that would be viewed as weird. Like, where else are they going to do it? Like, if they go to her place and do it, it's the same problem, right? Now, she has invited a guy over to her house and she's in a relationship to work on this group project. Wouldn't that be the same issue? Or if they go somewhere in public and do it, like a fucking Starbucks or whatever, it's still the same issue. Like, oh, now they went to a public place where people go, like, on dates sometimes to do this group project. So you can always make that argument no matter what. So just, I don't know, it just doesn't compute with me. But anyway, back to the pizza. "I offered to split when you told me you were ordering a pizza and you said it was your treat. If you'd like, I can sell you for half of the cost." "Yes, I'd like that. And you ate more of the pizza than I did, so you should pay for like 2/3 of it." Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty math calculations here. Like, well, actually, listen here, Harpy. You ate more of the pie than I did, so you're gonna need to reimburse me more for it. And you know what? It wasn't my treat, because this Halloween there was only tricks. You tricked me. You lied by not telling me that you had a boyfriend. So give me extra cash for that pizza, you disgraceful harlot. She's being as gentle as possible here. I imagine she's scared of this individual, and she said as much in the comments of the post. She said that she didn't want to, like, get too aggressive back because then she'd be, like, afraid of what he might do. So it's just, like, I understand where she's coming from. You don't want to, you know, poke and all of that. So she's just like, okay, that's fine. And I'm sorry again if you got the wrong idea, but I thought I made it clear that I viewed this as a professional relationship. Well, you didn't. And then he comes back and says, "Don't leave me on red." So he's getting very aggressive here. He's red in the face. He's steam coming out of the ears. Like, I understand why she wants to, like, tiptoe around this as gracefully and smoothly as possible. And it's something I've said a lot on stream, where in the current climate of things, it feels like everyone's more on edge than ever. Like, I've read so many stories over the last couple of years of people snapping at the smallest things, like even the most minor inconvenience. Like, this is a story I've referenced a lot, but it's one that actually legitimately sticks with me. There was a murder at a Subway where a man shot 2 Subway workers because they went a little heavy on the mayonnaise on his sandwich. Too much mayo was a death sentence for one of the 2 workers that was shot. The other one did survive, but I mean, it's things like that where it's never really worth pushing back. So in a case like this, I understand why she'd want to be really light about it. And I just want to mention that because I saw a lot of comments like, not really grilling her or anything, but just really kind of wondering why she was being so polite in lieu of all of the aggression from this guy. And I totally understand why she would be. I really do get it. I just wanted to point that out real quick. But anyway, it wraps up by saying, I don't think this conversation is worth furthering, which is fair. And then he responds saying, it's ridiculous you even chose a guy to work with if you have a man. I bet he was upset even if he pretended not to be. Now, she explained this a little further in the comments. She didn't even choose him to be like her group project partner. Apparently the way the groups were chosen were people chose topics and whoever had similar topics worked together. So these 2 just happen to have the same topics. It's not like she went out of her way to choose this, benevolent angel to work with or anything. But anyway, I understand this was like a very short text exchange. It's only like 3 screenshots here. But I just think there's a whole lot to digest and analyze here. As we as a species have become more and more isolated, all of our socialization and human interaction comes from behind a computer screen now, mostly. Almost all of our interaction with each other is through the internet. So it's leading to a lot of people not knowing how to socialize or not knowing how to pick up on like social cues, and I don't even really blame individuals for that. But it's led to situations kind of like this, where this guy really views that her being off the market, having a boyfriend, should mean that she shouldn't do anything at all with another guy, even work on a class project with another man. And also, something as simple as buying a pizza shows some kind of romantic interest between the 2 of them, some kind of mutual romance. So when it turns out that she wasn't interested and it leads to a rejection, it's something that he doesn't know how to handle appropriately. And overall, it is just pretty sad. Yes, it is like equal parts entertaining with some cringe text messages, of course, but at the core of it, there is a problem where people aren't going out in the real world and making genuine human connections. It's all through computers. So when you are in the real world with real humans, you don't really know how to handle things super well. So something as simple as getting like a rejection is a much bigger deal than it used to be. And overall, like I said, it's just kind of sad. I wanted to just talk about these text messages because I got real deep on why. Why would this be the response to something so simple? And of course, the text messages are very silly, like with the whole fucking pizza side quest thing. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it.
Hit pause on whatever you're listening to and hit play on your next adventure. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western. Visit bestwestern.com for complete terms and conditions.
So yeah, we're entering into an age where people just don't know how to socialize. It's just this inability to appropriately communicate with one another in a healthy way, and it's led to a lot of confusion and, frankly, a lot of unhinged weirdos in the dating scene, it would appear. I have become way too invested in reading these horror stories from people that were romantically interested in one another or even went on dates, and then all of a sudden things go tits up over nothing because people are just disconnected from reality and perpetually on edge, it would seem. Like, I am so deep into this rabbit hole. I understand how pathetic that is on my part, but I can't help it. It's just so fascinating. Like, it seems like you'd have better luck finding your soulmate in one of my streams, like by just communicating with someone in the chat. Like, you probably would meet a more compatible match in solo queue League of Legends than you would on a dating app right now. The people in fucking solo queue League are more mentally stable, less hostile, and less weird than the people I'm seeing that are meeting on like Tinder and Bumble and all that. Today, this post kind of popped off on Reddit. I fully recognize a lot of these can be a bunch of, horseradish, but I like to suspend disbelief anyway. Plus, it's a weird thing to fake because you don't get anything out of it besides Reddit karma, I suppose, which is the most useless currency since Monopoly money. So anyway, the story is this girl's friend was going on a date with a gentleman that she had met online who seemed really cool. They agreed to meet at this restaurant, and that's where the story begins. So she says, "I'm on my way," to which our gentle sir tips his fedora and says, "Okay." which already feels a little hostile to me. This is their first date. I feel like you can't just be dropping a K like that. It just seems a little aggressive, but maybe I'm reading into it too deep since I already know how the story plays out. She says, "Are you there yet?" "No, I'm going to be a little bit late." "No worries, I'm here. I'll be in the far right corner." He finally arrives. Our protagonist makes it to the scene. He kicks open the doors. He says, "I'm here. I don't see you." To which she describes her location. "I'm next to the big plant in the back to the right when you first walk in." So she's providing him with directions, coordinates, so that way he can go walk over and they can begin their date. But the date never really begins because you see, something has already gone awry, even upon first walking into the establishment. He drops this bomb on her. He says, "Piss off," out of nowhere, actually from out of left field, the curveball, which catches her off guard. She goes, "I'm sorry? I'm really confused right now." As most people would be, because he hasn't sat down at the table, she hasn't even seen him yet, and he's angry about something, fuming, furious, steaming. Well, what went wrong? Let's start to speculate a couple of things. Perhaps this is an Ed, Edd n Eddy situation when Ed gets the rock in his shoe and it just puts him in a bad mood. Maybe he believes that he's been catfished. He might have seen her from a distance and it wasn't the same girl that he thought he was communicating with. Perhaps. But what if I told you the reality is something none of you would possibly guess? It's actually super easy to improve your social skills and increase your odds of getting laid. All you need is to shop at moistglobal.com and get the new retro basketball line. It's that simple. An incredible assortment of beautiful items available right now at moistglobal.com. Go ahead and get yourself something. Who doesn't love retro? You a favor by letting you be seen with me, the nice guy, the Giga Chad Alpha. Fuck! And I can't believe you've done this. Like, just the standard, immediately, like, talking about, "You're actually ugly, I was never interested anyway, I was just giving the ugly girl a chance because it was a good deed to get me into heaven. That's all. I was trying to do what I thought the Lord wanted me to do. And you did this to me, you betrayed me like this? Shame on you. I was the angel." Which we've seen a million times, that's nothing new. This guy is clearly looking like a big old piece of shit here. So, then the truth of the situation comes out. The only guy I talked to was the waiter. I wasn't flirting with anyone. He was asking me if I wanted to order, and I said I was waiting for you. This goober saw her talking to the waiter and assumed she must be trying to fuck him, because that's all women want to do. Anytime they communicate with a male, they're just trying to slobber on that meat. It's disgusting. I can't believe you would do this, harlot. I saw you talking to that man. The waiter. That's what this is all over. That's what caused him to have this massive meltdown, tears in eyes, fucking whiny temper tantrum fucking blow up. Because she talked to the waiter who was asking if she wanted to order. That's so crazy. This lunatic. This absolute goofball. It continues. She asks, "Why are you acting like this?" He goes, "Whatever, slut. Lose my number. You'll never find another guy like me." Hopefully he's right about that. I pray she never finds another unhinged weirdo like this guy. That would be for the best. Hopefully nobody ever finds this guy or anyone like him. That is just a curse I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. Ruined your chance with the best dick you had ever had. I bet that Asian guy is small. God, this guy is an insufferable piece of shit. Good lord. What a vile person to say shit like this. Have fun never feeling real pleasure. Don't message me again. He'll leave your fat ass and you'll come running back to me. So he's diving deep into delusion now. The waiter of this restaurant just saved this lady a long time of agony. Because let's imagine these two actually did go on a successful date. Prior to this, apparently this guy and this girl had hit it off in a big way online. This was their first date. Let's assume that this date happened without any hiccups. She would have never seen this side of him until it was probably too late when they were already in a relationship, and it would have led to a lot worse of a situation for her. So the fact that this happened on day one, well, even before day one, this is like day zero because he never even sat down at the table for the date. The fact that it happened then is for the best. It saved her a long time worth of trouble. So the waiter in this story, actually a hero. Hats off to that guy. What's that expression? It's from Futurama. When you do something right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. Like, that's exactly what happened here. Dude's just doing his job and ended up saving her so much trouble down the line. But yeah, anyway, so she talked to the waiter about her order. This guy blows a gasket, has this huge meltdown about it, shows his true colors, and then continues to just go on and on and on in these text messages with her. But girls like you like being used. All women just like bad guys, so they cheat when they meet a chill, nice guy. Whatever, I never liked your flat ass anyway. Don't leave me on red, you bitch. You just told her to lose your number, and now you're getting upset that she's not responding? Like, he's all over the place. He says that she has a fat ass and then says it's a flat ass. This guy's walking between worlds right now. He's caught in dimensions. His brain is completely scrambled, all because he saw his date talking to the fucking waiter. That is so crazy. That is crazy. And then still has the gall to say that he is a chill, nice guy. Chef's kiss. That is right on the nose. Everyone that self-identifies as a nice guy always turns out to be like this. Like 100% of the time. It's crazy. That statistic is as high as it is. The correlation between nice guys and being complete weirdos and just downright dangerously unstable people. It just, I don't know, I can't believe that it continues to be proven true time and time again. But yeah, anyway, I just had to showcase this one because I was giggling about it for quite some time. Like I said, I am in so deep on these horror stories of romance in the dating world, I couldn't help but at least share one here. That's about it. So yeah. I've never had a threesome, and I've never had an experience where I read something so cringe that it made my tummy upset. One of these two things is about to change today, and I don't think it's the threesome. I just read something from, yet again, my deep diving onto the horrors of modern dating with absolute deranged weirdos. And the whole interaction was so mind-bogglingly peculiar that my body couldn't help but suffer from a physical reaction after finishing this adventure here. I don't know where these men are coming from. These dudes are just being printed in the cringe factory and being thrown into the dating world as like the worst NPC encounters you could ever have. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. But before doing that, just a quick heads up. The Moist Global Retro Basketball line is still available right now. This is the best assortment of merch the internet's ever seen, so you can go to moistglobal.com right now and pick something up. Links in the description. I just read some of the backstory she was posting about this situation in the comments, and it's actually pretty sad. Apparently these two had been dating for about 3 years. It was a horrible situation all around, and a couple months ago she left and took the kids. But this is the most recent interaction between the two of them. She 100% made the right move in leaving. This guy seems like a fucking menace. But anyway, it begins innocently enough. That's good, just working away with 3 exclamation points, so he's having a jolly old day at work. Did you get to the doctors yet? She says, yeah, I have COVID. What did he say it give you? What? What did the doctor say or give you to feel better? Take Advil, Tylenol, sleep as much as you can, and quarantine. This is so timely because I myself just finished going through COVID over the last 11 or so days. And this is the 3rd time it's fisted me. It has gone elbow deep in my ass 3 times, and all 3 times that is the exact same advice I was given by doctors. Now, of course, you can still ask for like a Paxlovid prescription if you want. It should help with like symptoms, but it's not usually the first thing they give you unless you're someone who is at risk for like complications, I think. It is an option, but typically they'll just tell you that. You know, take Tylenol, sleep it off, rest, fluids, simple stuff like that. So, it seems innocent enough here, and the guy she's communicating with almost seems jovial. You know, like when he says, just working away, I can already see him typing that and going, just working away. You know, one of these with a big old smile on his face, ear to ear. He seems like a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. And then it all falls apart. This feels like a real Jekyll and Hyde situation. He immediately just doubts her, doesn't trust her, accuses her of lying. Lol, so you didn't go to the doctors. Before this turns into a fight, just tell the fucking truth, lol. She says, I did. There's no meds for this. Yes, there is. Go to the doctors, lol. I need the address and the name of the clinic that told you there's no medicine. Also, the name do the doctors. They will be losing their license. So he's fucking spiraling immediately here. And I feel like this isn't exclusive to just him. I feel like a lot of men these days assume that every girl they interact with, even their significant other they've been with for 3 goddamn years, is some kind of lying, cheating harpy or something. So they're constantly interrogating because they don't believe anything they say. I feel like there's just so many dudes out there with this, like, insecurity within them where they doubt everything their partner says, believing that they're cheating in some way, and they're lying about something, hiding something, and it's fucking awful. So this guy's trying to checkmate her here with the scholar's mate, like, okay, then give me the name and the address, because I'm going to call them to double check, because I don't believe you, madame. She then says, stop being so fucking melodramatic, I seriously don't need this shit right now, there isn't anything they can give me, I'll be fine once it works its way through my system. He just continues to press, please, name of the doctors, location you want to, please. I know you sick. That's why I'm jandling this for you, and just need to know which doctor you went to. I can handle this properly. This guy has so much steam coming out of his ears, it's clouding his eyes. He can't even fucking type properly. He's typing like a caveman. He's going full Neanderthal mode here. Like, what in the world is happening in his noodle? He's gonna start jandling this? That reminds me of jelking. Like, that was an old thing on the internet where you're supposed to, like, masturbate in a certain way to elongate your wiener. Jandling feels like it's some kind of, like, sub-discipline of jelking. But anyway, she says, I don't need you to scream at the receptionist for no reason at all. Stop being ridiculous. I won't scream at anyone, just tell me the information. Skit K can handle this, please. If you don't provide it to me, it's because you're lying and didn't go to the doctors. There's nothing to handle. So just tell me the name of the doctor you saw. This douchebag is making so many typos, it looks like he's trying to transcribe the Scatman. I can jandle. It's like ridiculous how crazy he's going because he's so angry. I don't know why he'd even think she's lying about this. He admits that he knows she is sick. So why would she lie about going to the doctor?
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can. First up, let's talk about AI color themes.
Well, like, what the fuck thought process is that? I know my girlfriend is sick, but it's probably dick sickness. She's probably hungry for cock and it's causing her physical pain. That's probably what it is. She didn't go to the doctor. She went to a penis appointment. That's what it is, and she's lying to me about it. I knew it! It continues to just get out of control. She says, lol, I shouldn't have to prove to you anything. I'm sick, I have COVID. She's absolutely right. She doesn't have to prove anything here. She doesn't need to try and, like, defeat his delusions. That's not her responsibility here. She's done nothing wrong. And he just continues, you're not proving anything to me, lol. There is medication for this. I know for a fact, as I know someone else who had COVID last week. There isn't, unless you're old as fuck or have an autoimmune disease or your lungs are shit. Otherwise, you just carry through like normal fucking virus. Yes, there is. Let me call the do it. And I will get you proof. Where did you go, baby? That comes out of nowhere. After all of this, he hits her with a where did you go, baby? I can already just tell from reading this shit, this guy is extraordinarily manipulative and a completely insufferable person to be around. But anyway, she goes, I went to a walk-in and frankly, I'm not going to allow you to cause a muck over nothing. I'm going back to bed. What walk-in clinic? If you don't tell me, I'm don't with you. Because I'm not a ducking idiot, and I know you're lying, haha. You have 3 minutes to get me the address of the walk-in clinic or else. So now man's out here setting a time limit. He's dropping the ultimatum. You give me the name, and I will hunt them down. Out here like Liam Neeson, about to track them down with his particular set of cringe skills. I guess his thought process was he just wants to confirm that she actually went to the doctor, because for some reason he doesn't trust her even slightly, even though they've been together for 3 years. I also imagine if he did call them, he'd start yelling and screaming and causing a big hoopla, because he seems like that kind of unhinged, deranged lunatic that would do shit like that. But anyway, the 3 minutes to get me the address of the walk-in clinic or else, that's it. Buy more chances for you. She says, fine, be done with me because I don't want you yelling at someone for no fucking reason. He says, no one's going to get yelled at. You're just nothing but a liar and KM Jot a fucking idiot. I wouldn't have even called them, but everything you say is a lie. And you think I'm an idiot and you can fool me. Anyway, joke's on you. Enjoy. Hope it was worth it, kid.
This sounds
His
like my
use of
fucking
exclamation
dad.
points
Jesus,
and
that's
emojis is
bad.
absolutely
That's bad.
infuriating. But
That's
even more
bad.
so than that, the cherry on top of
That's
the
really
shit
bad.
cake is him saying, "Hope it was worth it, kid."
That's
He's
really
speaking like he's back on Xbox Live in a Call of Duty lobby. What? Hope it was worth it, kid? Oh, God, sickening. But clearly the reason he's using the emojis and the exclamation points is he's trying to put on this strong, masculine front that none of this bothers him. This is the biggest mistake of your life. You're gonna regret this. But me, I'm laughing.
Yeah, I'm back.
I'm having fun with this. This means nothing to me. So much so that I'll drop a laughing, crying emoji and 5 exclamation points. Haha, not hurting me. She then says, "Lol, joke's on me because I'm sick. Great joke. Love that for myself. Love that I feel like I'm being dragged through the mud, fire, literally feel the worst ever. Great support, thanks. Joke's on you because you lost the best man of your life because you'd rather lie than tell the truth. Leave me alone." What the fuck? Oh my god. It's just so painful reading this. It's so fucking sad reading this, knowing that not only have they been together for 3 years, but I guess also have kids. Like, and speaking of the kids, his final message to her is this: "You got it, Buster. Have fun being a homeless narcissist liar that no one loves, not even their children." He just dropped a cold Buster here at the end, and then told her that she is a homeless narcissist that not even her children love. What kind of delusional evil shit is this? He's calling someone a narcissist. That's unbelievable. Pfft. And then to say that not even their children love her? What? I don't know how you go from like, "Oh, where'd you go, baby?" You know, like, obviously, like, in love kind of thing, to immediately, like, "No one loves you, everyone hates you, I'm the best man that has ever existed in this entire fucking history of our species, and you just blew it with me. This is your fault. You're unlovable. You're a liar. Your children don't love you. You're a narcissist." Like, it's just crazy how quickly someone can become this. It's so fucking sad. She definitely made the right call leaving this guy. I'm, of course, no, relationship counselor or guru or anything, but very clearly, this is an unhealthy person to be around. This guy super sucks. This guy is a turbo fucking loser. And according to her comments, this was only like the tip of the iceberg. She actually called this interaction mild. So I can only imagine how awful of a person this piece of shit is. She definitely made the right call. And to think all of this happened because she got COVID and went to the doctor, and that was enough to set this guy off. That's terrible. That's horrible. But yeah, like I said, I have been deep on like the modern dating scene, travesty, seeing like what all's been going on and being posted by people online. I just find it all so interesting. So I can't help but talk about some of these that really get crazy. So Yeah, that's really about it. See ya. Good morning, and welcome back to Wacky Weirdo Hour. Boy howdy, do we have an action-packed lineup for you today. Get out your cup of coffee, enjoy your cereal. It's about to be a bit of a ride. Sometimes I'm asked,
Hey Meta, play something chill.
why do I do this to myself? Why do I dabble in the swamp of cringe? What's the purpose? What's there to gain from staring into the abyss and letting the abyss stare back into you? And the thing is, I unironically feel there's real value here in some lessons to be learned from the lunacy. Let's say there's people out there that haven't really experienced a lot socially in life, suckling mother's bosom, and has never really branched out from the nest to get their own wings and become the social butterfly that they are destined to be. Sometimes people might not recognize that the behavior they're exhibiting is not good and is bad, not productive, is not going to lead anywhere. So by going over some of these absolutely atrocious, downright painful exchanges in the dating scene or like romantic interest, I feel like it can serve as a scared straight kind of moment, like, behold, don't be this guy. And you're like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. What the fuck? He sucks. Okay, alright, I get it now. I know what not to do. Or maybe I'm just reading way too deep into all this. I'm not a fucking hero. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just a guy here laughing at some goofy situations. Anyway, the story for today is one I got tagged in a lot last night when I was at a Lightning game. So I actually watched it unfold in real time and had a sneaking suspicion that by morning this would no longer exist. The poster would probably remove it because things went out of control. That shit went cattywampus. And I was right. The posts were deleted, but I saved them. I made sure to. I said, dag nabbit, you're not keeping this from me. You think you can hide cringe, brush it under the rug, and I won't find it? Nope, I'm lifting that rug up with a big old smile on my face. I'll say, thank you so much for this, yum yum yum, scrumptious. So I got the Library of Alexandria of Cringe, and let's just go ahead and explore. I had to censor so many handles that were tagged in this initial tweet here. It was like a fucking CIA document with all the redactions. But anyway, I've got it in working order. I don't want anyone harassed here, including the original poster or anything, obviously, but I do want to go over this. So they made a call-out post out of nowhere. I don't want to be too rude, but I genuinely can't understand how this goofball, and then he tags the guy, got a beautiful girl like, and then he tags the girl. He says the dorkiest shit, yet has a massive following. I just can't wrap my head around how any girl would go for that. I really commend his efforts not to be rude. I think he did a great job of tiptoeing around it and being polite while also getting to the point. Extraordinary manners, clearly. Excuse me, everybody, not to be rude, but fuck this guy. He's got a girl and I don't, and he's a dork and I'm a Chad. What's going on here, guys? What an injustice. He's not ugly, but Sabrina is objectively hot, where he's average at best. He spends all his time on Twitter, unlike someone who has a full-time job and a ton of money he could use to provide for a stunning woman like herself. Nah, screw not trying to be rude. He's a loser, to be honest. Oh, he was doing such a good job of not being rude too, and then the wheels just fall off. It goes tits up. He really goes off the rails. I like how he's like analyzing this now as if he's a researcher studying the phenomenon. He's average at best, but Sabrina is on like a totally different plane. Like this something's not adding up here. There's something foul afoot. And then he had the gall to criticize that guy for being on Twitter all the time. Meanwhile, Goober is on Twitter all the time making whiny posts like this, just having a temper tantrum, tears in the eyes, shaking his fist. Why is she not with me? I want her. He doesn't deserve it. I deserve it. And then here comes the stone cold stunner right on his soul. So the girl that he was talking about and loosely tagging in his tantrum catches wind of it and drops the DMs that he continues to send her. She goes, I know your ass ain't tweeting this like you ain't been in my DMs constantly begging me for a chance like a desperate loser and refusing to take no for an answer like a disgusting creep. And here's the receipts, Twitter. Thank you for the receipts. God bless. I'll speak on behalf of all of Twitter when I say it's much appreciated. So it begins with, would you ever want to meet up someday? I'd love to see a movie or take you to dinner. Whatever you'd like. To which she responds, I'm flattered, but for one I have a boyfriend and I don't think you even live near me. Oh, I like to travel, so it's not a problem, lol. And you're not married, right? There shouldn't be anything wrong with hanging out. No, but I don't feel like your intentions are platonic, so She was right. She really sniffed that one out pretty quickly. You don't need to be, you know, part of the Scooby-Doo mystery gang in order to crack this code here. She immediately deduced that this wasn't necessarily a friendship offer. This was him shooting his shot. But I love how he just immediately goes,
I
like,
have an
"Well, you're not
idea."
married, so I mean, like, what's the harm?
Eureka,
I
I
don't
have
see
an
a
idea.
ring on your finger. And he continues, no, I'm absolutely being platonic. My intention is just that I want a chance to prove that maybe I could a candidate as well. Like maybe you'd have more fun with me. Just to weigh your options, you know? About to have me talking like a Sims character with that kind of cringe. Like, what do you mean? Weigh her options. Brother, you came out of nowhere in Twitter DMs. Why the fuck would she want to weigh options with you? Like, she's already in a relationship which she makes clear off rip and you still keep pressing. But you know what? Let's go even deeper here. We'll get into real fanfic levels of garbage and delusion. Let's assume she's in an open relationship and would actually, like, want other options, I suppose, in a partner. It's not gonna be you through Twitter DMs. That's just dangerous. No one's going to take you up on shit like this, especially not when you're coming out fucking guns blazing, fucking firing from the hip out of nowhere. And there's no possibility of that anyway in reality, because she actually shuts that down directly too. No, you're not, because you're still pushing something further, even after knowing that I'm in a committed relationship with Blake, so there's no options. Learn how to take no for an answer. A lesson he absolutely refuses to learn. So he continues. I'm just confident in my abilities as a partner on all levels. I'm certain I can give you everything you desire, and perhaps better than he can. I apologize for persisting.
Perhaps.
You're just breathtaking, and I want you. I'm willing to fight for you at this point. To which she responds, there's no fighting for me, you don't know me, and you couldn't give me anything that her current partner doesn't. She lays into him. She lays down the brass tacks here. And basically he says, that's a lot of words. Too bad I'm not reading them. Because he
Really?
refuses to accept
Too
anything
bad
she
I'm
is
not
saying.
reading it.
And only continues to exist in this dimension in his brain that is disconnected from the reality here. But I will say, he has piqued my curiosity. I have to know what abilities he's so confident in here. Like, balloon animals? Like, he learned a magic trick from Chris Angel? Like, what abilities are we talking about? Because it's certainly not, like, romantic abilities whatsoever. He's fucking cold calling like a telemarketer here through Twitter DMs. So he responds again saying, I had to give my 100%. For being truthful here, I don't think he deserves you. I see what he tweets, and he's dorky as hell. You're hot and one of the kindest people I've ever seen on this app. What do you mean? Like, so I'm guessing he just, like, stalks her feed or something. He's like, he's making up this fantasy in his head where it's like, this is an angel and I should be with her, clearly. This guy's too dorky, too much of a dweeb, doesn't deserve that. It's so creepy. I have a good job and I'd be willing to let you crash with me at my place for as long as you'd want if you'd be willing to give me a chance someday. That's so generous. I mean, wow. He'd be willing to let her crash at his place? Wow. And they say chivalry is dead, huh? I don't even know why he's making that offer. I don't think that's something anyone would want to do. I don't know why he's making it sound like he'd be willing to make a sacrifice by letting her live with him when he's fucking obsessed with her. It's oh my god, it's so fucking weird. I'd take care of you, but you everything you want? Oh, buy you everything you want and give you anything you'd need. I haven't found any ladies in my area that share my same interests or honestly that are as beautiful as you are. I guess you just brought out my competitive side, lol. You absolute weenie. It's not a competition. And if dating was a competition, you're gonna stay losing with an attitude like this. I don't know why he's treating it like a game of Counter-Strike where if he just plays it properly, he'll go ahead and squeak out the W. She's already in a relationship. No matter what you do here through fucking Twitter DMs, it's not going to change that and she's not going to want to go with you. No matter how much you lecture her about why her current partner doesn't deserve her, which is an outrageously weird thing to do. You don't even know them to begin with. You are just someone that is stalking their fucking Twitter feeds, I guess. Like this whole thing.
There we go. What the fuck? Okay, we need to make some...
Is super creepy.
We need to
And
make some
he just
limits.
doesn't see it. So she posts these DMs, and obviously a lot of people started dunking on him for it. And instead of trying to learn from it and understand why this isn't a good thing, he takes it as another opportunity to proclaim his love for this stranger. He says, "You have to be lying. Why is everyone acting like I'm crazy? Sabrina is drop dead, sexy. Block A or Blake, whatever the fuck, is not. He's painfully average and mediocre at best. As I said before, he ain't ugly, but compared to her, he might as well be. Sabrina's figure is what I'd call perfection. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm trying to make a simple point. Her hair is majestic, her face is gorgeous, and her body is literally to die for. Not to mention she's strong and takes what she wants. I admire that. And she doesn't want you, so admire that, and come to terms with it. She will never want you. No matter how many times you make Twitter posts about her, obsessing over her. It's scary. It's unhinged. Stop it. Like, I don't know how else to, like, put it in plain terms. But even with people putting it in the plainest terms for someone to understand, he still just thinks that, like, his intellect is above everyone else's and no one's understanding his point. So after all of this kind of blows up, he then starts sending her more DMs about it. He comes back around into the DMs saying he didn't mean to put her on the spot, to which she responds, "You did. Now Twitter sees the creep that you are." And he says, "I don't think of myself as a creep. I'm just being honest and straightforward."
Of course you don't.
And she says, "No, you're a loser and a creep who doesn't understand the word no." She's right. It's very blunt, but it is correct. The way he is behaving here is not taking no for an answer and being very creepy. Again, they don't even know each other. And he has become this obsessive over this whole situation. Like, even so much as saying, like, he doesn't deserve you, it's me, this and that. And he doesn't recognize why that's creepy. And I know that's not exclusive to just him.
I don't know what he's doing.
It's very important to have self-awareness and self-reflection where you can separate yourself from the situation, take a step back and see how things look. He needs to be able to have that ability. That's an ability he should be confident in, so he can recognize that the way he has conducted himself here is creepy. You are a creep in this exchange, and you need to grow from it to not be like this going forward. And he just keeps going. "I thought you'd appreciate my persistence. I thought wrong. You turned the app against me. I didn't get any engagement before that tweet. People really lined up to defend that dude. I didn't think he was that liked, to be honest with you." It has nothing to do with the individual in this case. It just all has to do with you being creepy and people wanting to let you know that what you're doing is not okay. He's just not able to grasp the situation. And I also don't know why he would think this persistence would be appreciated. Again, you don't even know her. And being extremely persistent and annoying about shit is something nobody likes. Not even in a romantic partner, but in general, even as a friend. You're just gonna keep, like, poking and pestering and, like, constantly prodding. No one's going to like that. She then explains to him again how what he's done is something nobody will appreciate, and he just ignores it and says, "Nobody on this app understands what my point even was that I was trying to make." What point? You're not making a point. You just keep saying how much you like her and find her boyfriend to be dorky and unworthy of her. What point are you talking about? There's not some, like, deeper underlying message that you're trying to get across that we're all too stupid to see. You're just being a weirdo for everyone to see publicly and throw tomatoes at. This is the last DM here that was shared. He says, "I treat women with the utmost respect, actually." That's the impression I got as well. Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I got when reading this too. To which he responds, "You don't when you can't accept the word no and objective women. Your loss, I guess." That's just a classic sign-off from, like, every single one of these meltdowns and bad romantic exchanges. Somehow it always ends with the guy saying, "Your loss. I'm actually, like, the best dude ever. I'm, like, the chillest, nicest guy ever, and you just blew it with me, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. You'll be thinking about that every night trying to go to sleep."
What the fuck just happened?
I don't know why that's so common amongst all of this, but it is very interesting to see it every single time. But anyway, I just wanted to share this because I've been so fucking deep into these, like, weirdo romantic exchanges and all of that, so that's really about it. See ya. Whoa there, partner, hold your horses. I bet you thought I had finally kicked my addiction to reading uncomfortable, cringy, weird text messages from the dating world. Well, do I have news for you, pal?
Yeah, it's like
I've only just begun on my bender here. I can quit anytime I want, it's not that big of a deal. I don't need electroshock therapy or any kind of mumbo-jumbo psychiatry to break me out of this rabbit hole. I don't have a problem. The only problem I have is that there isn't more of these for me to read, damn it. So anyway, let's begin. This morning, I hopped on and read Two different stories here from relationships that fell apart in the most tragic and confusing of ways. So let's just dive right in. So we're reading from the perspective of the girlfriend in this relationship, and she's communicating with her boyfriend. They were coming up on their 3-year anniversary, but after this exchange, it all went right down the shitter. So it begins. Well, we're fucked. Pork chops went bad. My mom was getting ready to fry them and there was mold. To which the boyfriend just hits her with an okay. So she apologizes saying, I'm sorry, she's just gonna send me to get chicken alone because I already made mac. She's referring to mac and cheese, for those of you that don't understand the nomenclature there. Now, I think it's very important as we go through this first story that you know the ages of those involved. It's 25 and 27.
buttocks.
The reason why I think that's important is because as we go through this story, I imagine most of you will assume that these are children. Like literally 13 and 14-year-olds. But that's just not the reality of it. This guy is about to throw away a 3-year relationship and have a biblical meltdown over not getting some fucking pork chops. He continues giving her the ice treatment here, so he just goes, okay, no good. Actually speaking like a Neanderthal. She says, the pork chops were bad, we didn't know, I'm sorry, I tried to make you food. He just once again says, okay. She says sorry again, and he just says, cool. So this guy, he's going catatonic right now. We're losing him. He's flatlining. He's starving to death because the pork chops went bad. What is he gonna eat now? He's only a fucking 20-something-year-old man. He can't fend for himself without these pork chops. He's gonna die. She continues by saying, I really tried. Once again, just hits her with that okay. This is actually just like out of One Punch Man, that famous panel where Boros is powering up and One Punch Man just goes, okay. That is his whole personality. So he just goes, okay. And he says, you left? Yeah, she sent me to get chicken. He says, okay again, to which she just says, well, okay. She continues to profusely apologize for this whole situation here, as if she did something wrong, even though she didn't. The pork chops just went bad. I don't know what he expects from her, to like sorcery away all of the mold or whatever on them, or somehow conjure up brand new pork chops from her ass, which is something she also mentioned in the comments, like, I don't know what he wanted from me. Like, she even went to get other food that he could consume. Chicken, mac and cheese, there were other options besides the pork chops, but his mind is set on one thing. Pork chops. He only has room in his noodle for one thought, and right now that thought is pork chops. So now that he realizes he's not getting them, he's about to go berserk over this whole situation here. Cool, you got to eat. I didn't for waiting on you. Good night.
Where'd you get all these chalices? It's not like it's a stamp collection. We can actually use these.
Okay, good night. I love you too. No, bro. Good night. I could have ate, but I waited on you, of course. You could have just eaten regardless. So, the poster here, she went into detail about all of the context around this. So apparently, he had said he was going to go get food, and she mentioned that she was making pork chops with her mom later, so he said, oh, okay, well then I'll just eat the pork chops with you and your mom and I won't get food. To which she replied saying, no, you can still get food, and you're also welcome to have these pork chops, but being the noble chivalrous man that he is, he put down the food that he was going to purchase and instead was going to eat these pork chops, which didn't end up happening. And when he didn't get served his pork chops on a golden platter, he just refused to eat, crossed his arms, kicking his legs in his high chair. Well, then I'm just going to starve. So even though she had other food that he could eat, the chicken, the mac and cheese, he just didn't. And then also didn't feed himself at any point throughout the rest of the night, I guess because he was still so fuming with steam coming out of his ears. And also, according to her in the comments, the reason he didn't eat the chicken and mac and cheese is because he only likes his chicken prepared in the most simple way ever. So he didn't like the way the chicken was prepared, and he also doesn't like mac and cheese, which is already giving me red flags. I don't know anyone that doesn't like mac and cheese in some capacity. That's making him seem already off his gourd, just from that simple fact alone. But yeah, he refuses to eat for the rest of the night, all because he couldn't have those pork chops. She says, I tried to cook, I didn't know they were bad, I couldn't have known until they defrosted. I don't care, bro, I shouldn't have waited. They made food, but I had to wait on you. So bullshit. Good night. Oh my god, this insufferable, whiny asshole. Those pork chops must have been, like, heavenly, divine. Like, to just give up food for the rest of the night and then ruin a 3-year relationship, those pork chops gotta taste immaculate. Like, not only do they have to taste amazing, they have to come with legitimately life-changing benefits in order to have this kind of fucking tantrum over them. Like, taking a bite of those pork chops instantly chisels out your jawline a little bit further or something. I just don't know what kind of pork chops would be worth all of this anger. She apologizes again, saying, well, I'm sorry, good night, I love you too. Bro, stop telling me that. I am so tired of this guy saying bro to his girlfriend. He clearly has no respect for her whatsoever. He then throws a term out I've never seen before. He says UPMO. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that stands for, so I looked it up, and usually it's an abbreviation for Project Management Office.
No.
But that doesn't really fit in the context of this conversation. I imagine it has to be an insult. I don't think he just came out of nowhere saying, you Project Management Office. So it must stand for something else, but I still can't piece it together.
I don't know what the hell's happening here. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know why that's not working. Yeah. I don't know why that's not working. That's weird. It's really weird.